The sample table. I worked the sample table at a Costco for 2 years. Frozen dumplings, mini quiches, whatever corporate sent that week. And there's a rule they don't put in the training manual. A rule every long-term sample worker learns the hard way. Never count how many times the same customer comes back. I didn't know that rule existed until I started counting. And once you start counting, you can't stop. You start noticing the pattern. And once you notice the pattern, he notices you noticing. It was a Tuesday, early shift, the store barely awake, fluorescent lights buzzing over empty aisles. That particular silence a warehouse store has before the crowds. Heavy, hollow, almost pressing on your ears. A man came up to my table, mid-40s maybe. Grey cardigan, the kind nobody's worn since the Carter administration. Polite smile. Took a toothpick with a piece of sample chicken, said "thank you kindly," and walked off toward electronics. Nothing strange about that, except 12 minutes later, he was back. Same table, same toothpick, same "thank you kindly," like he'd never been here before. I figured, okay, maybe he forgot. People are weird. I let it go. 12 minutes after that, back again. I checked the clock obsessively after the third time. 9:14, 9:26, 9:38. 12 minutes. Every single time, like something was setting a timer on him. By my lunch break, he'd been to my table 9 times. 9 times, and he never once looked at anything else in the store. Never pushed a cart, never checked a phone. Just walked a slow loop and came back to me. She told my shift lead. She laughed it off. "Oh, that's just Gerald," she said. "He's harmless. He's been coming in for years." "Years?" I said. "I've never seen him before today." She just shrugged and walked away, like the question made her uncomfortable. That night, closing up, I went to grab a spare apron from the break room, the one nobody uses, way in the back by the old lockers nobody's assigned anymore. There was a laminated employee badge sitting on the shelf, dusty, curling at the edges. I picked it up out of curiosity. The photo was Gerald. Same grey cardigan, same polite half-smile. Except this photo looked old. Not vintage cool old. Faded chemicals, sun-bleached. This badge has been sitting in the dark for decades old. Hire date printed on the bottom. 1954. Costco didn't exist in 1954. I turned the badge over. Someone had scratched a note into the plastic with something sharp. A key, maybe a fingernail. 4 words. He's still so hungry. I didn't sleep that night. I told myself it was a prop, a joke some old employee left behind. Costco stores get weird junk in their break rooms all the time, right? But the next morning, I looked it up, just the store's address, out of some sick curiosity. Turns out, our store was built on the site of an old rail maintenance yard. A labor camp. 1950s. Men worked to exhaustion, housed in shacks that flooded every winter. Records say 14 of them died on site over 3 years. Only 6 bodies were ever officially accounted for. I went back to work that day because rent doesn't pay itself, and because some stupid part of me needed to see him again. 9:02. There he was. Grey cardigan. Toothpick. Thank you kindly. This time, I watched his eyes. And this time he watched mine back. For just a second, his smile didn't move right, like it was a second behind his face, like something underneath was learning how to smile by copying him. I looked away first. I always look away first. I started asking around, really asking. Cornered an old maintenance guy, Pete, who'd worked there since before it was even a Costco, back when it was a different warehouse chain entirely. The guy in the cardigan, I said. Gerald, how long's he been coming in? Pete didn't laugh this time. Longer than me, he said. Longer than this building's had this name on it. That's not possible, I said. Pete looked at me with something that wasn't quite pity and wasn't quite fear. He's not shopping, kid, he said. He's hungry. He's been hungry a real long time, and this is the only place in 50 years that's ever offered him something for free without asking questions. The ground under aisle 11, Pete said. That's where they buried the ones they didn't report. Aisle 11's where the sample table always gets set up. That's not a coincidence. That's a pull. I asked Pete the question I already knew I didn't want the answer to. Why 12 minutes? Why does he always come back in 12 minutes? Pete looked at his watch, old, cracked leather band. Because that's how long it takes him to forget he already ate, he said. Every time. Fresh hunger, fresh manners, fresh thank you kindly. Over and over. Since 1954. He's not a ghost causing trouble, Pete said. He's just the only one down there polite enough to keep asking instead of taking. The others don't ask anymore. I felt my stomach drop straight through the floor. There's more than one. Pete didn't answer. He just looked toward aisle 11 and quietly, deliberately, walked the other way. That was my last shift on the sample table. I requested a transfer to the register the next morning. No explanation. My manager didn't ask questions. I think she already knew why. But here's the part that still keeps me up at night. 3 weeks later, walking past aisle 11 on a supply run, I saw the new sample girl. Young, maybe 19, handing out little cups of teriyaki chicken with a big, bright smile. And a man in a grey cardigan was walking toward her table. I checked my phone. 9:14. 12 minutes later, I checked again. 9:26. He was back at her table. Same toothpick, same smile. Thank you kindly. So the next time you're at a warehouse store and someone hands you a free sample with a little too much sincerity in their thank you, maybe don't count how many times they come back. And if you ever work a sample table yourself, and you notice a regular who never buys anything, never ages, and always comes back in exactly the same number of minutes, just keep smiling. Keep handing out the sample. Some hungers